Hello and welcome back to awtoolbox.com. My name is Glenn Keller, and in this video we are going to be talking more about working with data inside of Active Workspace and Teamcenter. So far in this playlist and course, we have been really diving into what is Active Workspace, what are some of the common elements that we work with, and how do you interact with that data effectively to do some of the tasks that you need to do. And so in this video, we're diving into workflows and kind of utilizing some of the information that we've seen in the past to kind of pull it all together and do a little bit of work. So in this scenario, we have a new assembly. It's been provided to us from a vendor. We've imported it into the system, and we're going to go find that assembly now. So that assembly, if I come in here, has been imported, and there's tons of parts with it. We've looked at it in other components, and if I come into my where used on one of these components, I'll be able to find that top level. So in here, the top level assembly is this grinding custom assembly here, and if I open this up, this is the assembly that we had open in previous videos. So the thing with this is that it was imported, but it was imported without a release status. And I don't want my users utilizing this assembly. I don't want to utilize this assembly. We're going to basically create a release on this assembly so that we can lock it down, and then we're going to create a new assembly by duplicating it with our own IDs, and that way we can use that assembly going forward. It may not be exactly the use case that you have. Maybe you have a new assembly somebody has built and you need to get approvals on it. But whatever is the case, we're going to be working through submitting this in, getting a status on it, and investigating that status and what it means for the assembly. In this case, I've got the grinding custom assembly, and this is the one I'm going to apply the status to. In here, we don't have a status on the object. It was just imported. The status is going to represent its permissions, whether it's locked down from edit. And I'm going to go ahead and I could take a look at the data, its attachments, make sure everything is there, but let's assume that I have already done that. I'm going to come in here and say manage, and I'm going to submit it to a workflow. So workflows can be simple approvals, they could take years, whatever be the case, but essentially it's a set of tasks that you allocate to people to do different things as you're developing or approving or working on whatever you're working on. By default, when the workflow panel pops up, you get this submit to workflow panel here, and you typically will work with the workflow tab. The assignments tab is kind of like automating the workflow tab, so it allows you to pick pre-defined sets of groups or people to do the approvals, whereas the workflow tab will have you manually set it up. If you have the option to say all or assigned, essentially you have a little bit better permissions than most. Typically you will only have a list of workflows here you can work with, but notice I don't have any out of the box. So in my case, when I click all, I get a list of all the workflows that were installed for me. Now, your administrators have probably worked pretty diligently to get rid of this all and assigned button and provide you only the templates that you can submit to. So just note that if you don't have a workflow process you're looking for here, you may be standing on the wrong object. You may also have an object checked out or something to that effect that's causing the workflow to not show up. So dot your I's, cross your T's before you go in and submit that ticket to IT. Once you have the list of templates, you have a process document that you're following, which workflow that you're supposed to submit it to, so definitely pay attention to that. In this case, we have one called the TCM release process, which is just a quick release. It simply applies a status to something, and in this case, I'm going to select that process. I can see what's being added to it, so I can add more data to that, but in this case, I'm releasing the top level assembly. And then I could come down and look at any reference data. So targets are essentially the data that is going to get the status. So essentially these properties here will get filled out on them. References could be carried through the workflow so people can see them, but they're not going to get an updated status. They're just there for the ride. If I go ahead and click submit, Then it will submit this to the workflow. It'll tell me about it. And you'll see that a new window will pop up called Workflow. So if I select Workflow over here and move this over to give myself a little bit more space, not only will it give me a diagram of what all is occurring in the workflow down at the bottom, it will tell me any upcoming tasks that need to be performed, as well as any current and completed tasks. Now in this case, very fast workflow, didn't have any major steps, so it didn't have anything to spit out up here. Now, if I go to the Overview tab though, this workflow did approve or did apply a release status as well as a date released. And depending on the permissions in the system, this could effectively lock this object. If I come out of here and I scroll over, and I scroll over in this object, you'll see now that this object has a flag on it in the table. TCM released, as well as this. Notice nothing else underneath of the object was released though. So if I wanted that data released, I would have had to release that as well. So this shows how to simply submit it through a workflow. Now you can submit things through workflows and get approval states, if you will. So if I come in and I submit this object, this assembly down here, the channel, and I do a manage, submit to workflow, go to all, and then pull this down, there is a workflow in here that's called a requirement sign off. So basically it just requires a sign off to get a release status on this object. If I pick this workflow and scroll down, I can see I'm submitting this object. And if I go to assignments, you can see that this workflow, if I pull this over a little bit, has an unstaffed DBA role for the assignee. So I could go in and I could pick somebody to actually perform this task. In this case, I'm going to select it, and I'm going to say admin 02 needs to perform the task. I'm going to submit it after I add admin 02. So in here, see required reviewers is 1. When I select that, it updates this only to those users that are in the required group and role. I can click assign, and it will assign the person I had selected. So you can filter and search for those users using the search field, but once you have that person assigned, the required field goes away, and you can hit submit. Now that I've assigned that, I can track the workflow by going to the Workflow tab, and I can see information about the workflow. I can see who it's assigned to, and I can see where it states. If I expand this little arrow, I can see that it's at the Select Sign-Off team. So in this case, if I come into my inbox over here, notice I don't have any tasks for this workflow, so my task is empty. However, if I go to my other tabs across the top, like Team or Tracking, I will see a task in the inbox. My tasks represent tasks that are assigned to me directly. Team tasks are tasks that are assigned to anybody in my group that can claim the task. Think of it as a bucket of things that need to be done, and anybody in your group can do them. And then Tracking are things that you've submitted and that are going through its workflow, but aren't necessarily assigned to you. So you need to be aware of what's happening with the workflow, but it's not going to group those into your own inbox. However, if I select it, I can see who has access to this. I can see admin 02 needs to make a decision. The requirement review has been started by me. I can see sign off and comment information about this. I can come up and I can see the next tasks and the diagram. If I go into reviewers at the top here, I can see admin 02 needs to make a decision here. So if they wanted to, they could go to attachments and they could look at all the target objects that are a part of this. They could open them up, they could edit them, they could interact with them. But I'm going to go ahead and log out and log in as that other user. So we'll sign out real quick. We'll sign as admin 02. And then when admin02 logs in, they'll go ahead and switch into the view that allows them access to their inbox. Notice that in my tasks for this user, I have performed sign-offs. If you go to the home view, you also have an indication on the tile that tells me that I have a new task. So if I go in here, I can select the task, and then the task will update and I can investigate the objects. If I look at the overview, it will tell me an action, and typically my admins will add instructions up at the top here for me to be able to investigate. I have a couple of options with a comments field to fill in comments on it, and I can fully investigate the data by using this tab, whether it's the attachments, the workflow involved, or otherwise. Once I'm ready, I can come in here, and in the workflow, it will have me marked as no decision at the moment. And then if I actually approve this, we'll say I approve, hit approve. Now at that point, it blanks out. So at this point, if I go back, I can see that I've kind of lost this object altogether. And I'm going to go search for the object. So in here, I could go find the object. I could also use my recent objects. So if you were to create like new, go into an object and use the search, or you could use the recents in here. One of the two, you can go to favorites. It doesn't really matter how you access it. But in this case, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of trace my steps. I'm going to go back up to the assembly this is used in. Here's the grinding assembly top level. And then I'm going to expand this and select the channel. In this case, if I expand this down, I'll hit more. The channel wasn't what I released. I'll go ahead and scroll to the right. And you can see it's this object right here. It's not released yet, but if I go to workflow, you can see that it's been approved by admin02 now. And if I scroll over, you can see the comment on that. So it is actually finished here. It just didn't apply a status to the object. Or it did. It did it for the tasks. And then you can see the entirety of the workflows went through. So as you're coming into Active Workspace and you're performing various tasks against the data, just note that your inbox is going to provide you a view into the tasks that have occurred. Just pay attention to the tabs that you have across the top. My tasks are your tasks. Team tasks are everybody's tasks. You can claim those as your own. Tracking are things that you're watching but not necessarily participating in actively. All is just a bucket for everything before that. And then surrogate tasks we'll talk about as we get into profile options and out of office assistance. But if you set somebody as your workflow surrogate, essentially they're going to receive all the tasks that were going to go to you. So if they're leaving for vacation for a couple of weeks or something like that, and they set you as their surrogate, this is where you'll see those tasks coming in, keeping it nice and filtered out so that you can separate the tasks that they're responsible for versus yours and delegate your priorities accordingly.